I think it's about time I started up another daily Bible series. And for this one, I think I'm going to do it slightly different. I'm not going to show the text. I just have my KJV version of the Bible here, and I'm going to read out of it, and you can pause at the beginning of the video. I'll tell you the chapter. I'll try to read a chapter, and I'll just keep this casual. I think it's nice to not give yourself crazy expectations and to just create a habit of reading the Bible every day. I think that's the best thing to do. And so that's why I like these videos. And I think there's always good discussion, and it's its own little community. It becomes its own little Bible study thing. And I think it's an easy way to just read the Bible a little bit every day, to have a simple video that you can just click on and listen to, and it's as little effort or as much as you want to. And yeah, I just like to keep it casual. It should just be a casual part of every day. And so today I'm going to read Jeremiah chapter 1, which I think is interesting because, so a lot of times when I know I need to read the Bible but I don't know specifically what, I literally just flip it to a page and start reading at a certain point. And I did that last night because I was like, oh man, I need to make daily Bible videos. I just have all this, I feel like I have a lot of creative energy. It comes and goes, and sometimes you know it's there. And I know that this is where I want to put some of that energy. And so I flip open the Bible, Jeremiah. So that's interesting because I've already done a whole series on Jeremiah, but literally the only thing I remember, and this is just the way that my memory works. I could watch a movie and rewatch it a couple years later, and it's like I've never seen it before. Same thing with books. I can reread books, and it's like I've never read it before a lot of times. But certain things stick in my memory. It's not like I get total amnesia. It's just only certain things stick in my brain correctly. And I'm kind of a mathy guy, not necessarily a reading kind of guy. But anyways, I've done Jeremiah before. The only thing I really remember is that Jeremiah was kind of like a bullfrog at some point because he was stuck in the mud. So if I do continue reading Jeremiah, it'll be interesting to get back to that point. But I'm going to read chapter 1. I'm going to get into it because I want to keep these videos short, casual, not any big investment. And excuse me for pronouncing anybody's name incorrectly. If I say something incorrectly, go ahead and leave a timestamp in the comments and point it out. I am human, so I make mistakes. The book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 1. And what I'll do is read, and I'll just stop and make some comments. The words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anathoth, in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of the Lord came in the days of Josiah, the son of Amon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. And also in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, the king of Judah, unto the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. So, something that I keep in mind, especially when I read the Old Testament, and me, especially with names, I'm a terrible name kind of person. I don't let this stuff bog me down when I'm reading this, the details. Sometimes I'm interested in the details. Sometimes I'm just reading, and I'm able to just ignore the details. And I just appreciate that they're there, and it's there for when you really want to go study, and that's when I would have to draw out family trees myself and timelines, but I don't let it, you know, a lot of people, they try to make the Old Testament seem like, oh, boring lists of names. Like, you don't have to read that. You can kind of skim past it. But you should appreciate that it's there, because if you want to go build a family tree, hey, they have the whole genealogy. Continuing at verse 4, Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So what I like to do when reading the Old Testament is just reinforcing ideas that are talked about later in the Bible, or that Jesus talked about, or just truths about this place or nature. We're not of this world. Understanding that God has a purpose for us from before we're even born, and so I appreciate those. Then said I, Ah, Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord said unto me, Say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. So this reminds me of how the Holy Ghost can tell us what to say in situations, and how that gets talked about in the New Testament, how you don't even worry about what you're going to say, because in the moment you'll know what to say. Be not afraid of their faces. Excuse me. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Lord. Then the Lord put forth his hand, and touched my mouth, and the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations, and over the kingdoms, to root out, and to pull down, and to destroy, and to throw down, to build, and to plant. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Jeremiah, what seest thou? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then said the Lord unto me, Thou hast well seen, for I will hasten my word to perform it. And the word of the Lord came unto me the second time, saying, What seest thou? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is toward the north. This is very interesting. Then the Lord said unto me, Out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all inhabitants of the land. For lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, saith the Lord, and they shall come, and they shall set every one his throne at the entering of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all the walls thereof round about, and against all the cities of Judah. And I will utter my judgments against them, touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me, and have burned incense unto other gods, and worshipped the works of their own hands. Okay, so this is very prophet-like things happening, which makes sense. Jeremiah is being told by God that Jerusalem is about to get taken over or besieged by the north. And these are themes that happen a lot. And also, this goes into falsified history, historical resets, how they try to hide the fact that giants were a real thing. The Bible talks about giants, and they lived in the north. And this, I think, goes into Tartaria and all that. This is the one reason. So these videos, I'm just going to talk about whatever. So whatever comes to mind, or I'm reminded of, because stuff is all connected. The reason they hide history is to hide biblical truths. That's why they lie about giants, even though all the cultures know that giants existed. So to get to the point, a big topic is about the Millennial Kingdom. Did the Millennial Kingdom already happen? Is that why we have these crazy churches and stuff? You know what? I'm a little torn on that. I think it can go either way, honestly. So, but the other explanation for all the crazy buildings we see everywhere is that history is not what they say it is. The timescales are way different. It's a small world after all, and young Earth stuff is true, more or less. I mean, when you compare it to the outrageous stories science tell us about millions of nonsense. So I think that when the angels came down, the fallen angels, I don't think that was that long ago. And I think that they're probably the ones that built the crazy buildings. And so I don't necessarily think that those were from the millennial reign, but it's possible that during the millennial reign they refurbished those and then they got destroyed again, and who knows. I really do think it's a possibility. But that just came to mind. Okay, so I'm going to keep reading. I don't even know where I was. The almond tree. I'm just skimming through so I know where I am. And verse 16, Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 16, idolatry. This is a theme, that idolatry is ultimately what leads God's people astray. That is a big, big theme, and why it's very important to have no idols. And let's just finish up only a few more verses. Thou therefore gird up thy loins, and arise, and speak unto them all that I command thee. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound thee before them. For behold, I have made thee this day a defence city, and an iron pillar, and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee, for I am with thee, saith the Lord, to deliver thee. Okay, so I guess the end of Jeremiah chapter 1 has potentially good things happening. So they are going to be besieged, but they're going to stand. He talks about an iron pillar, which is interesting. There's a really famous metal pillar out there. And if you type in like really old metal column, I'm sure it'll come up. It's interesting on the Wikipedia page that it talks about that column and how somebody tried to cannon it down at a point in the past. And the cannon thing, I think is very interesting. If you've ever visited like Europe if you go to the Vatican or the old complexes in Paris or Rome or wherever, cannons are everywhere. They have so many cannons all over the place, and I think that the cannons were used to demolish old world buildings. I don't think that the cannons were really military. I think that it's history erasure. Uh, Something about cannons, and I think that they mostly were just used to destroy old world buildings. Well, that's it for this. Leave a comment. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing Jeremiah. I could pick a random chapter every day, but this is what I did today. God bless everyone.